I am a DNA scientist and I want to introduce you to Dr. Francis Albert, who has made a startling discovery. Dr. Albert recently examined human DNA and what appeared to be DNA from Bigfoot. What follows is Dr. Albert being interviewed by the director of Bigfoot in Portola Valley, Stephen Mara. Watch and decide. Bigfoot in Portola Valley. Big discovery or more craziness? Well, have you decided yet?
The DNA that we showed you, what did you think when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, my immediate thought was that it was a hoax because it is extremely close to human DNA. We know that, for example, we share a lot of DNA with chimpanzees, huge amounts, about 96–98%. The estimates vary depending on how you're counting it. It's not important, we share a huge amount of DNA with these closely related species. The sample you showed me is closer than that. That's what's so important about it.
What if I were to tell you, and you probably suspect this, that the sample that we showed you that you recently examined was from Bigfoot?
I can't possibly comment on that. You've shown me a sample of DNA, I've looked at it, that's all I can say. You can tell me that, that's...
The sample you looked at, was it human?
It was not human. It's extremely close to human. I mean, I would be very interested, do you have any more samples? Do you have any, for example, any... I mean, what you showed me was a tiny sample that I can analyse, that's fine. I want to see morphological samples, I want to see actual tissue.
You're very confident that it wasn't human?
Oh, absolutely not. It's not human, no.
Is it an ape?
It's not ape either. I'm absolutely sure about that. It's not chimpanzee, it's not anything I've ever seen. Do we want to know at this point that my fly is undone?
Do we what? It's a good thing, Dr. Francis, that we had a close-up. That's okay. All right, so it's not... Let me restate what I think you just said.
Yeah.
It's not human.
It is absolutely not human, no.
Has anyone in the scientific community, do you think, seen anything like this?
If anyone in the scientific community had seen this, I would have expected them to have published. I would expect that publication to appear in a journal like Nature.
Is it possible to extrapolate from what you've seen to what this being, this animal, this creature would look like?
It's yes and no. The bald answer is no, you can't possibly, because what we're doing is looking at the biochemical level, and that really the extrapolation from that to morphology is impossible. Having said that, any rational human being could extrapolate. It is closer to us than the great apes. Therefore it's not going to look like a whale. That would be ridiculous. So in terms of answering your question, as a scientist, I cannot draw you a picture of it. I can tell you that it will be more human than a great ape. Certainly more human than a chimp. So given that, any reasonable person would say there is a possibility that we could hybridize with Bigfoot.
So if someone could marry Bigfoot and have a Bigfoot child, and just in terms of the DNA, not the sociology,
I was going to say that there's no way I can answer that question in terms of marrying. That falls well outside my remit.
But in terms of DNA? In
terms of hybridization, the big question that we would need to answer is this a separate species? I mean, it's as simple as that. Species do not interbreed. Varieties, as we would call them, and it's not something we normally talk about with human beings, you don't talk about different varieties, but we would talk about different races. So the question you're asking me in scientific terms is this a separate species? Is this a different race? To put that into context, if you'd asked me 10 years ago on the evidence we have, were Neanderthals a separate species? All the evidence was they were. The evidence we've seen over the last couple of years, analysing the Neanderthal DNA, we found Neanderthal genes in the human population. There's no doubt about this, that's published information. That tells you they weren't separate species. There was a degree of interbreeding. This DNA is looking closer than that. That's all I can tell you. I don't have enough to go on. from what I see, I can tell you this is very close.
So we could do it with Bigfoot.
I'm not prepared to answer that question, really. I think that falls outside my remit.
Hi, I am Ginger and I am one of the executive producers of Bigfoot in Portola Valley, and I am also in the film. And I am Liz and also an executive producer, and I have one of the starring roles in the film. You will recognize me. Liz, do you think Steven was out of line with some of his questions? Do you mean the one about Bigfoot marrying a human? Yep, Bigfoot and dating humans. Wow. Maybe some of our critics were right. How much of this dating and mating can we subject viewers to? I wish Steven had stayed with the DNA part. But he just had to ask the question about doing it. Let's see what happens next. Let's stay focused on the story and skip the Bigfoot mating part. Watch for me in the film. I play Elizabeth and am on the town council. And I play Faith in the film. And Steven, no more Bigfoot funky dating questions.